It was in the height of the pandemic, the opening of an internation vaccination clinic on Kanesatake Mohawk territory. But in the fifth wave of the pandemic came an election, and with it, a change of hands over at Mohawk Council. The new team's campaign promise? Investigate pandemic spending. Jeremy Tomlinson is a former Mohawk Council chief. He initiated an independent forensic audit of council spending of pandemic funds and says he was disturbed by the findings of the audit into the Emergency Response Unit, or ERU.
There I had conducted a preliminary examination of the financial situation related to the pandemic response.
APTN received a summary report presented to the community. According to the document, nearly 40% of the total amount allocated for salaries and hiring of casual help went to 3 people in management positions. A review of $1.4 million found 35% were paid personally by ERU members and reimbursed without formal expense reports. The auditing firm also noted that several journal entries were recorded to move expenses from one department to another, which, quote, appears to represent attempts at camouflaging or hiding the nature of such transactions. But some of those targeted in the audit are questioning the process and the choice to release only a portion of the findings to the community.
I mean, it stinks from beginning to end.
Former Kanesatake Grand Chief Serge Simon denies the allegation of wrongdoing. His signature is one of 8 on a rebuttal document issued by the now disbanded Emergency Response Unit, calling the audit a one-sided and self-serving, incomplete document that does not accurately portray the situation, insisting ERU members have done nothing wrong. According to the ERU, salaries and top-offs were signed off on by the federal government. They say transactions made off books or on personal credit cards were made only when buying products needed immediately, and that ERU staffers were only trying to keep up with a rapidly evolving situation.
They could have presented this in another way and let band members determine for themselves.
Indigenous Services Canada was aware of the Kanesatake allegations when contacted by APTN and say the department is taking appropriate actions. About approving top-ups and salaries, ISC clarified in an email that Council determines its employees' salary scales. Further complicating matters, ISC states Kanesatake was allocated over $5.1 million in pandemic funds, which is just over $300,000 more than the amount stated in the forensic audit. So what happens next? That's up to the authorities, who received a copy of the audit and a request to investigate. Quebec's provincial police force, the Sûreté du Québec, confirmed with APTN News that an investigation is underway, but would not comment further for confidentiality reasons. Lindsay Richardson, APTN National News, Montreal.